This video is going to review how to write numbers and operate with scientific notation. So just a couple quick reminders about scientific notation. This is not scientific notation because scientific notation has to have a decimal point. You have one digit in the ones place and then a decimal point and the rest of the number. So if I have a number like this and I need to convert it to scientific notation, I want to think about, first of all, I just want to make sure that my decimal point is in the right place. So I'm going to change 34.3 to 3.43. And the easiest way for me to remember how to change the exponent is that I want my number to be equivalent at the end. So if I'm changing from 34 to 3, I'm making my number smaller. I'm dividing by 10, but I really just need to recognize that I'm making my number smaller. So then to have the same number, I need this to be bigger. So if I make one number smaller, I need to make the other number bigger to end up in the same place. So that's why I've changed the -9 to a -8, because I'm trying to make this 10 to the -8 is a bigger number than 10 to the -9. So just remember that when you're writing in scientific notation, you do have to make sure that the decimal point is in the proper spot. The question that some of you had on the mid-year review is related more to operating with scientific notation. So I've got a couple examples of that for us. So say, for example, I'm multiplying using scientific notation. I really remember the commutative property allows us to change the order of how we're multiplying. So I can change this to 6.1 times 8. So I'm just rearranging times 10 to the -3rd times 10 to the 9th. And then I'm going to group those together, and I'm going to group those together. So 6.1 times 8, this is going to equal 48.8. And then 10 to the -3 times 10 to the 9th is 10 to the 6th. So this is my first step. I just multiply the 6.1 times 8, the whole numbers, excuse me, not the whole numbers, but the decimal numbers, and then I multiply the tens with the exponents. And I'm using my properties of exponents here, so I'm remembering that if I have the same base, I am going to add the exponents together, so this is going to be 10 to the 6th. I'm looking at my initial answer and I'm saying it's not in scientific notation. So this is where I have to ask myself, I'm going to put my decimal point in the right place. And then I'm making this number smaller. So I need to make this number bigger. So my final answer is going to be 4.88 times 10 to the 7th. If I were to do a division problem, I'm going to come back here and separate these with a line. If I'm going to do a division problem, I'm going to do the same kind of thing where I'm going to deal with my, trying to make sure I'm using the same color highlighter. I'm going to deal with this part first, and then this part. So I'm going to break it into groups. So if I'm doing 3.9 divided by 7.8, so right away I actually recognize that that's the same as 39 divided by 78. So even though it looks like it's a complicated problem with a decimal, 39 divided by 78 is just 0.5. Then I'm going to take care of my my exponents. So again, I'm going back to the properties of exponents where I'm dividing two numbers with the same base. And so I know that I subtract. So -5 minus -8 is going to be +3. So that's going to be 10 to the 3rd power. And then I'm going to recognize that this is not in scientific notation. I have to make this number bigger. So I'm going to keep this number, make this number smaller. So hopefully that helps with scientific notation. If you want an overview of the basics of scientific notation, again, I have put the video that we watched some time ago also on the Google Slides for you to refer to if you would like.